Welcome back. You're watching Market Phataphat right here on ET Now, and as we just slipped into the break, we did mark KPIT Tech guidance, and it was 2.5% uptick that time. And right now the stock is soaring in trade, almost touching the 6% mark. That's KPIT Tech for you. That's because of that strong, solid guidance that the company has actually come out with. If you look at the FY24 guidance that the company is saying, is that they're expecting the constant currency revenue growth to be in the range of 27 to 30%. EBITDA margin guidance is in the range of 19% to 20%. This is for FY24. They've also said that the TCV of the new engagement won during Q4 is around $423 million. They're saying Q4 FY23's constant currency growth was of about 50% on a year-on-year basis, while 8.5% on a quarter-on-quarter basis, this alone in Q4. So solid set of numbers coming in. Also very healthy set of guidance coming in for KPIT Tech, and look at it, 6% uptick, dismissing all those concerns that had surfaced, isn't it?
Around those margin concerns also, that we're saying margin was a miss, but that is just taken past, and we're just seeing that guidance that they've given in terms of going forward. The forward-looking guidance is strong, and that is what is keeping the stock above 5.5% almost uptick that we're seeing for
KPIT Tech. But the latest from the battleground Karnataka, with just about 2 weeks to go for the polls, BJP leader and Karnataka Chief Minister Baswaraj Bommai is in the middle of a hectic campaigning. He addressed a mega rally in Belgavi.
Absolutely, and on that note, let's just get started with all the other stocks that are buzzing in trade. And now on the technicals, we have Nirav Chedda joining with us. Nirav, a very good afternoon to you. And let's talk about your first stock then, Himadri Specialty Chemicals. What are the charts looking for this one? Is this first stock actually a buy call?
So, in fact, almost all the calls today are buy calls. I believe, the small cap, mid cap space is buzzing and a lot of breakouts have come in. So this is one of the few stocks where breakouts have come in. A flat kind of a formation breakout. This stock was consolidating for quite some time, and now that breakout has come in on the longer term charts. I believe this stock has the potential to go up towards 115, 120 odd levels. So that should be the target. You can buy at current levels. 98 should be your stop loss. The breakout has been got around that 98, 99 odd level.
Alright, so that's the take coming in from Nirav on Himadri Specialty. But let's move on. Let's talk about AU Small Finance Bank. Vamakshi, we did have the management on air talking about the quarter gone by, the way forward for it. But what is the numbers looking like, and why such a disappointment with the street?
Well, Cheryl, the company came out with Q4 numbers, and the numbers were in line with what the street was expecting. Now, NII came in higher by almost 30% on a year-on-year basis at 1,213 crores, and this was supported by the growth that we saw in gross advances. PPOP also came in higher by 18% on a year-on-year basis, while provisions saw an uptick from 33 crores to 41 crores on a quarter-on-quarter basis. Net profit came in 23% higher, aided by lower tax as well as provisions. Now, gross NPA ratio for the counter also improved by nearly 15 basis points from 1.81% to 1.6%. Net NPOs also improved by nearly 9 basis on a quarter-on-quarter basis. When we look at the management commentary, they said that as the bank is investing in the business, the cost-to-income ratio is expected to remain elevated over the next 12 to 8 months. Margins are likely to remain under pressure over FY24 as the cost of funds has been increasing and the peak is not yet over. ROA is likely to remain at 1.8% to 2% going ahead. So that was the whole result of AU Small Finance Bank. Nothing exciting here, and that is the reason why the stock is declining in trade today, down nearly 2.6%.
Okay, and on that note, let's just actually go across and listen into what the management had to say about the growth strategy going forward as well. We were joined by Sanjay Agarwal, MD and CEO of AU Small Finance Bank. Let's go across and listen in.
Credit card should become profitable next year, right? And we will start monetizing our QR code business, and we'll start building more a digital franchise than a brick and mortar. So I think overall, I'm very optimistic around our whole future, and and the way we handle ourselves in such 6 years, that gives us more hope. But that the first foremost focus area for me is to build deposit, right? And that we are growing, very fairly well. Last year also we grown by 32%, right? So I think this year also, in spite of the higher rate cycle and, the lot more challenge there. But I hope that, we can grow around the range of 28-30% in deposits. The commercial banking space, which we started as a small finance bank, which is just coming up, right? That may grow in the range of 30-35%. So I think we have a well-diversified book. 92% book is secured. We deal at around 14-15% IRR. Historically our asset quality has not deteriorated at all, even in the bad of the times. So I think if you ask me, the overall asset is there where we get most of our comfort. My challenge is not asset and asset quality, to be very honest. My challenge is to really build a brand where people trust us more and more. We get a low cost deposit. If you get a low cost deposit, there will be an automatic sustainability of this platform.
All right, and this is a fact, or the reason that we to believe that we are in the thick of earnings season, Vinny. The fact that
we have earnings coming in every second then.
Every second. So let's talk about Poonawalla Fincorp then. That one, you can see the spike on the screen on back of its earnings. If you look at the Q4 net profit, it's coming at around 199 crore rupees, which is an uptick of about 67% on a year-on-year basis. The calculated NII also indicating an uptick of about 51%, coming in at around 379 crore rupees. So on back of a healthy set of actually initial numbers, you can see Poonawalla Fincorp soaring in trade. The board has also approved a dividend of about 2 rupees per share.
Okay, that's Poonawalla Fincorp. From the red, the stock has moved to the green and up a percent in trade. So surely a good set of numbers there. At least the street is giving it a thumbs up. Let's move on and talk about another earnings candidate, and Nippon India. Harsh, talk about the numbers.
Well, yes, so Nippon India came out with its numbers yesterday. Let's take a look. 3% uptake with regard to the revenue from operations, coming at around 350 crore. Largely muted when I'm looking at it sequentially as well. We're looking at core operating profit absolutely flat on a year-on-year basis, in fact down 2% sequentially. And we're seeing profit after tax, which is up 13%, down around 3% sequentially. So largely muted set of numbers coming in from Nippon Life. Of course, the UM continues to grow in a healthy fashion, but not as healthy as the previous year. So we've seen a rather flattish kind of a growth coming through for Nippon India, not Nippon Life, in this particular year. And that's the sum of it, largely a flat quarter for Nippon.
Okay. Let's keep an eye out on that one. Let's move on and talk about VST Industries. This one came out with its numbers last evening. Weak set of numbers, what we saw coming in from the company in Q4. And overall, when you look at it, there are inferior sales as well as the commodity inflation was something that had actually impacted the company and was a drag on the profitability of the company as well. Other than that, the gross margins also saw a contraction on the back of cigarette paper and filter prices seeing an inflation as well. And let's not forget UP Bihar, which accounts to a significant part of their revenues, that was in distress due to the shortage of rainfall. Steep volume decline in the cigarette business is what we've seen coming in as well. And VST expects FY24 volume growth of around 7 to 10%. They believe that, maybe analysts say that it seems like VST Industries has actually lost some market share, and maybe that shift has come towards ITC. But as of now, weak set of numbers for VST Industries. At post that, we're seeing the stock has seen a decline and down 2.8% as of now.
All right, moving on then, Nirav, let's talk about PCBL, erstwhile Philip Carbon Black. How is this one looking at the charts to you? Do you see more scope for an upside?
Yeah, most definitely. I see chemical stocks, or this is more related to auto also, auto ancillaries. I believe this stock looks very good reversal has been got from that 110 odd levels, which has historically been a good support area for this stock. A consolidation breakout above that 118 levels has come in. So now the upside range looks like around 140-145 for this stock. So there is a good likelihood this stock will reach 140-145 in about a week's time or so. Look to buy the stock at current levels. 116 should be a stop loss. 145 what should be the target.
All right, moving on then, let's talk about the counter that we are talking about right now will be Tata Steel Long. If you look at the company, they came out with their earnings. If you look at the consolidated revenue, saw a decline of approximately 66% on a year-on-year basis. They posted an EBITDA loss of about 42 crore rupees, which has narrowed as against the EBITDA loss of about 737 crore rupees, which they posted a year ago. Their loss also has actually narrowed. If you look at it, the consolidated loss has come in at around 523 crore rupees as against 2,303 crore rupees a year ago. So on back of that, you can see Tata Steel Long is in focus. The stock, however, is trading flat with a positive bias.
Okay, let's move on to stock number 20 for today, and that is Rallis. Vamakshi, why is this one in focus?
Counter is in focus on the back of its numbers. The loss has actually widened to nearly 69 crores in the fourth quarter from 14 crores that we saw in Q4 of FY22. So definitely a big negative coming as far as profitability is concerned. But revenue, however, was up nearly 3% on a year-on-year basis at 523 crores. Nevertheless, the company reported an EBITDA loss at 65 crores versus an EBITDA loss of 3 crores. So the EBITDA loss is also widening for Rallis India, and that is the reason why the stock is under pressure today. Weak set of numbers, the stock is down nearly 3% as we speak.
All right, that is Rallis for you. Another stock that is in focus is Stovekraft, Harsh, and why is that?
Well, yes, so Stovekraft, actually, there's been a block deal which came through yesterday. We had Emerging Business Fund purchase around 3 lakh shares at 373 rupees a piece, which is helping the stock hold up. In fact, it's up in trade even today on the back of probably that news, and the stock is up 2%.
Okay, let's keep an eye out on that one as well, buzzing in trade. But Neerav, GSPL, Gujarat State Petronet, and obviously we did mark about, the new rules coming in the state of Gujarat. We have seen all these stocks buzzing in trade today as well. And Neerav, this one is actually buzzing even before that. Last 6 months also 30% return. What are you looking at it in terms of charts? Yes, you have set a buy call, but what's the target price there?
Yeah, so see, this stock, you're right, about 30% return from the lower end. But this stock was in consolidation for quite some time, and finally you are seeing that breakout come in today. This breakout is a very longer term breakout which can lead a big rally in this stock, especially in the near term it should be very aggressive, so it can go up toward the 340 350 levels very soon. So look to buy the stock at current levels. The closing above 280 would be very good for the stock. So keep a stop loss of around 275 odd for your longs, and go for that target of around 340.
Keep an eye out on that one. But what we saw coming in was a note actually on IHCL from Morgan Stanley. Now they actually come out with a highlight which is on mainly the industry, where they're saying and talking about the room rates, the revenue rupee per rate as well, and which is actually being quite positive in terms of the commentary coming in on that one. So when you look at it, what they're highlighting is that India's room rate has outgrown those in the Asian countries, and per STR data, the Indian average room rate grew by 8% in 2022 versus the calendar year 2019 levels, and which is compared to a decline of 18% in China, 15% in Philippines and Vietnam respectively is 14%. So obviously there's only saw a growth in Malaysia. So India's room rate surely are seeing an increase coming in. They believe that the room rates are expected to grow faster, and they remain quite bullish in terms of the room rates in FY24 as well, and demand drivers are obviously in place. So obviously that could work out well for Lemon Tree as well. Let's keep an eye out on Lemon Tree. Lemon Tree is the stock that we are talking about. Yes, Morgan Stanley mentioned about IHCL. They're positive on IHCL as well, but Lemon Tree is the one that is seeing a very good run up in trade.
All right, moving on, Neerav, let's talk about RT Industries and what are the charts throwing up.
Yeah, so the chemical names are all now starting to see breakouts coming in. So this is no different. This stock has moved above its 50-day moving average after a long period of time. Also, longer term chart looks like it has made a bottom around that 500 levels. Good volumes have been seen there, and a lot of short covering action seen around those levels. I believe this stock can now move up towards that 620, 630 odd level. So look to buy the stock at current level from a near term perspective, at least for that target of around 620. You can keep a stop loss of around 530 for your longs.
All right, moving on then, let's talk about Sandur Manganese. And this particular counter is in focus because they've been accorded an environmental clearance for enhancing their iron ore production from 1.6 MTPA to 4.5 MTPA, retaining the manganese ore production at about 0.55 MTPA, along with proposed 7 MTPA ore beneficiation plant. This is what the Environment Ministry has given a nod for Sandur Manganese, and on back of that, this particular stock saw a sharp spike when it opened up for trade. But as you can see right now, a tad bit lower from those elevated levels, but nevertheless holding on to gains of about 3.7% as we speak.
Let's move on and talk about a pharma name, Nirav, and this one is Biocon that you've picked out for us today. Obviously, we have seen a correction in those pharma names, but Biocon specifically has actually started seeing an uptick in the last 1 month. What more upside can we expect from a Biocon? How much more upside?
The stock corrected from 250 or towards 200, but the volumes increased. It tripled. A lot of volumes were seen. That means some good buying has gone in around that level of around 250 to 200, in between that. And you are seeing short covering action along with it. So that means, this buying is not for near term, that this buying is for a little longer term period, and it should be a good recovery, a probably V-shaped recovery for this stock. So this stock has fallen down from 550 odd levels to about 200, but you are seeing very good recovery in the last month, and this recovery should carry on in the coming days as well. Look to buy the stock at current levels. You can keep a stop loss of around 220 for your longs, and the near term, the first target can come in around that 260 odd levels, but I am seeing this stock coming towards 300, 320 levels, in the coming time.
All right, that is Biocon for you, Brahmakshi. Bajaj Auto, this one is definitely in focus on back of its earnings. What are the finer details?
Well, absolutely, Cheryl. This counter is in focus after the company reported its Q4 numbers. Revenue, EBITDA and margin were above estimates, but it is the PAT that was in line with what we were expecting. Now, revenue for operations did see an uptick of nearly 12% on a year-on-year basis, and it has been reported at 8,904 crores. EBITDA has also come in nearly 26% higher. Net profit is also seeing, however, a downtick of nearly 2.5% on a year-on-year basis. EBITDA margin has declined, has in fact rather increased by nearly 214 basis points to 19.3%. Now, some of the highlights that came in from the results, well, we're seeing some sustained momentum on the domestic business. Domestic business has delivered very strong volume-led revenue growth, and we're also seeing that the Pulsar portfolio is performing quite well. Apart from that, when we look at the stock's price movement, it has already run up. It is in fact sitting at a 52-week high, and on that note, CLSA has actually downgraded Bajaj Auto from buy to outperform, so one notch downgrade that has come in from CLSA, but nevertheless they've actually increased the target price from 4,474 to 4,659 per share. So Bajaj Auto in focus on the back of its Q4 numbers, down 1%.
Okay. Nirav, talk to us about Oracle financial software on the charts. How is that one looking like?
Yeah, so this was one of the first stocks to witness a downtrend when the IT stocks are making a new high, and now this is one of the few stocks which has started to move up and witness a bullish trend when the IT stocks are going down. I believe this stock has very good potential because very good low has been made, a good consolidation has taken shape in this stock in between 3,000, 3,200 odd levels. Finally, that breakout of 3,200 has come in. I believe now this stock can see very aggressive buying up to the 4,000, 4,200 odd levels. So there are a host of targets here, but the first target should be around 3,700. So look to buy the stock for that target around 3,700. 3,250 should be a stop loss.
All right, so that's the take coming in on Oracle. But Harsh, HDFC Life, we are awaiting those numbers. What should we expect?
Yes, so we're expecting a solid quarter from life insurers, especially HDFC Life being one of them. One of the reasons or possible reasons for that is also the fact that on the high value, insurance policies, 5 lakh plus, there's a new tax which has been proposed from 1st of April. So this period, of course, up to 31st March will be crucial for those who wanted that benefit of taxes on some of those policies. and that's why the numbers from HDFC Life are expected to be quite strong. 18,000 crore is where we are expecting gross premium income for this particular quarter. 55,000 crore odd is where it'll take gross premium income for the entire year as a whole. It's a very solid growth in terms of GPI. In terms of even the margins, their margins have remained at 27.5%, around 26.5% for full year FY22, currently expected at around 27.5%, which will be margin accretive for Q4 in specific. So around 30% PNB margins is what we're expecting from HDFC Life for Q4. 1,000 crores on the value of new business as well is where we are penciling in those numbers.
Let's keep an eye out on HDFC Life. We'll be reporting its numbers today. But Nirav, SRF, now when you look at it in the last 6 months or last 6 months actually, the stock did touch once about that 2,500 mark, but immediately after that we'd seen a fall coming in the stock. Do you think finally now it's time that we could see a good run up and it would go past that 2,500 and stay past that level?
So this stock has seen about 2-year consolidation in between that 2,600 odd levels on the upside and 2,100 on the downside. Finally, you're seeing a good reversal coming in this stock, and this stock has potential to move up quite much. But at this point of time, this is a near-term call. You're seeing chemical stocks coming up, and this is a king of chemicals, it is said. But for me, one can look to buy the stock at current levels. This stock can go up towards 2,600, 2,650. That should be the target. I believe 2420 is a very good support area, and that should be the stop loss. You can get very quick gains in the stock, and once that 2,650 breakout comes in from the longer term perspective, that is when you see the higher targets of 3,200 to 3,500 coming in. But for now, look for 2,600, 2,650. That is where you book profits.
You can keep an eye out on this 2,600 levels and 2,650 levels for SRF, and then once that's crossed, then we could see a sharper run up. Let's talk about Nestle. Yes, the company reported its numbers yesterday, but we had a lot of brokerage notes that came in the evening, last evening. Now, obviously, numbers were quite strong for the company. What we're seeing from Goldman Sachs, they maintained their neutral rating, but they have raised their calendar year 23-24 EPS estimates by 5% on a stretched valuation. Nuvama 2 has revised its target price to 24,965 rupees from previously 23,435 rupees. They're maintaining the buy rating as well. Axis Capital 2 is revising the target price to 20,000 rupees from previous 19,000 rupees based on the EPS multiple for March 25, which is at 56 times. Valuations are at 66 times that of calendar year 23 according to the EPS estimates, which remains rich as well. Yes, they're retaining their reduced rating, but the target price is what Axis Capital has raised. So a rise in target price is coming in from most of that, and that is a factor that is keeping Nestle a buzz as well. And do not forget, good set of numbers, obviously an all-round beat that came in from Nestle.
Alright, that's Nestle for you, trading higher by about 1.3% as we speak. Moving on, Nirav, SHKL, how are the charts looking for this one now?
Yeah, so this stock has been in consolidation for the longest period, more than 2 years. But whenever these consolidations come in, it is always a very big fall which is required for these stocks to actually run up higher. So that fall came in from 150 odd, the stock went down towards that 80 levels, but the reversal has been even stronger, and you're seeing the stock run up from 80 odd to about 115 in about 3-4 weeks, and it has the legs to move up towards that 150 levels again from the 114 odd levels which it is currently at. So look to buy the stock at current levels. You can keep a stop loss of around 106, and that target will go beyond that 150 levels as well. But the first target should be around 150.
Thank you for those updates on SHKL, and thank you so much Nirav, Vamakshi as well as Harsh for joining in with us. That was the last stock for today on this edition of Market Phataphat. But as we wind down this edition of Market Phataphat, Karnataka CM Baswaraj Bommai and Congress leader Siddaramaiah ran into each other at the Belagavi airport amid the simmering tensions between their parties in a poll-bound state. But what followed was a friendly banter between the two top senior leaders, and Siddaramaiah was seen patting Bommai on the back, and the two leaders walked away smiling even as their parties slug it out to wrest control of the state. With that, we're absolutely out of time. It's a goodbye from Cheryl, myself, as well as the team who put this show together.